Hey there, friend. How you doing? Welcome to Soulvine. This is Jamie. I had an amazing reading for you yesterday. It was based on love, and then I had an extended that went for about 50 minutes, and I don't know what happened to the extended, but I don't know if Mercury's already doing its thing in some shadow phase, but yeah, it crashed and burned and disappeared and file corrupted, so hence me not posting yesterday or this morning, however it works out, but subject to what time that you're on. So let's check in, Pisces, see what is going on in LOVE and how we can support your journey. I know a few of you have been asking for some specific on love, so let's get into it and see what is happening relating to love. So we do have full moon in Capricorn right now. Okay, energies, wands, 7 of wands and 6 of wands. Okay. Got the 4 of pentacles. Let me know in the comments below one thing that you want to release over this full moon energy. I know this morning, actually, which was interesting. Let me quickly tell you this. When I woke up, it's like I wanted to, there was like a part of me inside that wanted just it to get out of my body. And what it was a feeling around something to do with betrayal trauma. I know a lot of you probably don't know my history, former relationships and things like that. But there was just this feeling like I just wanted it to go. I didn't want to feel a certain feeling anymore, but the feeling was so deep in how it wanted to release itself. It's like it was, I don't know, like purging out of my body at the same time, but there was this frustration and anger of just wanting to get it out. So it was really interesting. And I know this Capricorn full moon for me particular, I'm a Cancer rising. There's a lot around relationships. I'd be interested to see, where Chiron is and other things like that. But I'm not sure if you guys have been having any interesting experiences with this full moon energy, because it does say that this one in particular, I'm not sure of how many years it was saying, 19 years or something like that. So yeah, check in and see if there's anything in particular like you're feeling you really want to purge right now with this full moon. All right. Nice. We've got Ace of Wands and 10 of Cups. Okay. Let's see where this is all going. And I purely stopped because I didn't want to shuffle while I was talking about my experience. All right, let's go. We have got the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, the 8 of Cups, and the Lover's energy. Okay, let's just peek what's underneath. We have got the 9 of Cups. Okay, so this energy right now with the 7 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles, there seems to be, I'm going to say, a little bit of a roadblock right now, or a little bit of defensiveness around something. And this defensiveness could be more, your protective energy over something that you're wanting to achieve and something that you really believe in here, Pisces. Connecting into the love energy, into relationship dynamics. This could be to, parts of you that are trying to hold on to something or someone and trying to protect that energy and keep it coming towards you. So obviously, that could be a person that, and I'm saying towards you because of this 6 of Wands, okay? Because that's a lot around recognition and success. This could be too, someone that you're trying to keep out, right? In that protective piece. Of trying to maintain and focusing on the things that you're wanting to achieve, but also recognizing that if someone cannot come to a place that makes you feel good and is supporting you and adding value to your life, you don't really want to be there, right? And this Four of Pentacles, again, is protective energy. There's a lot of protective energy that you seem to be holding right now around something that you're wanting to achieve. For some of you, this could be on, around the work front. And I'm mentioning work purely because, our relationships, romantic relationships, or just relationships in general, when it comes to our successes, if we are working or working on a project or putting effort into something, they're all kind of wrapped around in some way. But I think for some of you, there's been a dynamic here that has potentially impacted your work or impacted your finances. And maybe you're really trying to start afresh here. And again, part of this protective energy and element, if you're not adding to my life, you're taking it away from it. And I don't want someone who's going to take away from it. Or there's something here that you guys are really want to build together and you're trying to find that new energy to do it. But to do that, you've got to keep certain people or situations out. So again, there's a very protective energy over some relationship or something that you're wanting to achieve regarding some relationship or love dynamic. But with the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups, this is further to recreating a spark, recreating some new energy there, right? This could be on a physical front, also too, building something together, because the Eight of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands and Ten of Cups could be building something together, working on a project together. This could be something around the home. This feels like nice, fresh energy, but there's a bit of protective energy on the other side. The Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, Eight of Cups, and the Lovers. There's definitely something here that wants to be spoken or discussed or addressed here with this Queen of Swords and the Hierophant energy. This could be, your feedback. Maybe you're wanting to provide feedback on how you feel like a relationship or a connection is going here. And it's interesting because while there's depth, I feel like there's also this part of this way that you're engaging here around something. You're being very, very clear on what you value, on what's important. And also the key pieces that would build a healthy, connected dynamic, okay? I think there's this part of something here I feel you're asking someone to leave behind. And maybe there is not an ultimatum, so to speak, with this energy, but asking for something to change, for this dynamic to strengthen and to work here. Because there's something in this connection or energy that needs to be left behind. Some of you could be walking away from a connection or making a choice in where this connection is going. But I feel like some of you are asking a question or expressing yourself, and you're asking for some change here. You're asking for some change. I think there's a big part of you knowing what you want and what you want to focus on and what you want to create in your life. And if there's this person that is in your life right now or someone new that is coming on in, there's this strong sense of understanding, I feel, what makes a healthy connection, what makes a healthy marriage, what's important to you, what you've identified, what their beliefs are, like a lot of things. But I feel like something needs to change here when it comes to this dynamic. You know, having the Hierophant and the Lovers, that could be a marriage, but it could be, taking things to the next level. But there's something here about, searching for some truth and understanding and also, like I said, leaving something behind. You've got the Nine of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles also showing up here. Yeah, you're questioning if something will make you happy here. All right, let's have a look underneath and what could be influencing this situation. We've got the Emperor energy. We've got the Two of Swords. And the Nine of Cups. Again, a bit of a question mark here. Yeah, underneath, if the Emperor is related here to a masculine energy that you're dealing with, or, whether this is your partner directly or whether this is another figure in your life that has impact over this relationship dynamic, it seems like you're unsure what to do here to make someone happy. That's what it seems like. Sometimes it's like the question, am I enough? Am I going to be enough for you? Not actually, are you enough? Because you are enough. But there's something here about, do you make this person happy, or does this person make you happy? Underneath, Death energy, Knight of Swords and Page of Swords. Yeah, there seems to be a pretty direct conversation about something needing to change here. That I feel that's coming on in. Let's see where this is all going. I know conversations, need to be had when they need to be had. I think there's also too with this full moon energy, just be a little, try and stay centered, okay? Because this could be energy that could be pretty intense if you allow it to take over. So yeah, just be mindful of that. You've got the Nine of Pentacles. You've got the Page of Wands. I've just dropped one second. You've got the Hanged Man. Death energy is coming out again. Okay. Two more. Thank you, Spirit. I'm just hearing protect your energy, and that's probably what you may be doing over there. To end on the Seven of Swords, really? Okay. Going to have to dive in a little bit more, aren't we? All right. Then underneath, Six of Pentacles. All right, friends. I don't know if someone's behavior here, because there was a little bit of energy when I was putting this through as well. While I was saying protect your energy, there also seems to be, what was coming through is a little bit of jealousy or envy or something of that nature when I saw this Nine of Pentacles. That's how the energy was coming through. It seems like here that someone is maybe making some changes in their own life. Maybe some of you are really focused on your career right now, or doing things that, make you feel good and make you feel in charge of your own life. And there's nothing wrong with doing that when obviously in a connection. But I feel like there's something here where someone may not be as supportive of your growth right now, Pisces. And, a part of that growth, and this is, there could be a little bit of a controlling element, like I said, or a little bit of jealousy or a little bit of envy on how you're doing things for yourself. And I feel like you've got some exciting things coming on in, right? And you're being a bit more bolder than maybe you've been of late, going after the things, you're feeling good about yourself. But then there's this moment as well, like, of reflection. This could be for some of you also looking at how someone else's behavior is. Maybe someone is also being very independent in the relationship, and independence, I think it's nice when someone is independent, but obviously relationships require interdependence, right? Not independent as in selfish, I'm going to do what I want, I'm going to go do this, and someone not thinking about you. I think, that's an important piece of the puzzle, because obviously connection is broken down when that happens in a relationship. I think it's important. And as you guys know, you have goals, they have goals. How do you support each other? Sometimes one may sacrifice sometimes for another or whatever else. But I feel for someone here, this is about someone really wanting to expand. But I'm also I'm just sensing a little bit like someone trying to hold on to you as you grow. And I know that that's challenging. It's like they can grow, they can expand, they can be independent, do their thing. But if you want to do that, there just seems to be a little trying to hold you back. That's how this feels right now. And that could be part of their own insecurity, or maybe a conversation that you want to have where something does need to change here, There's something here you want to change in this dynamic, or as you enter a new dynamic. You want things differently here. And with this hangman and the death energy, I think there's a part of trying to reflect on the change that is potentially coming here, right? Because whatever change is coming here, it's like you're trying to navigate how to work with this. There could be some question for you too, for some of you, of whether you should be ending this relationship dynamic potentially and just doing things on your own. I feel like this is very much in your mind right now, especially if there has been something that's been a little unsavory or something that you're not trusting, and whether you can figure this out, or whether there's a different way forward. I'm just going to pull one on this Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords energy. Thank you, Spirit. Seven of Swords. So you got mature man energy. Let me just get two more. Okay. And I think this is part of the frustration, okay? And this is what I'm talking about. You got mature man, great fortune, and marriage. So there's definitely a connection here, okay, of some kind, all right? What it seems like, and it keeps coming back to it, that someone is allowed to, here in this dynamic, is allowed to grow, to expand, to make more money, to do what they need to do and feel good about it, and I feel this person that you may be dealing with may come across quite composed with this mature man energy, but I feel like there's also something about the behavior or the way that they're going about things that's making you feel a little uncomfortable, that's making you feel like, and that it's funny, I'm getting that energy kind of like this morning. It's like something you just want to crack open. It's like you just want, and when I say the energy, the feeling, different narrative, but it's like you just want to know something that you feel you're in the unknown about. And there's something I feel that's wrestling inside of you that you just want to understand here. There's something that's making you feel uncomfortable when the approach or the way someone's going about something. Sometimes like if someone is protective of you, or they want to manage everything. And sometimes as part of that, we may not realize is financial control, or they might manage your emotions by just constantly agreeing or just not even talking about conversation. That there's control can come in many different ways, because I'm feeling a bit of controlling energy, but it's also like I feel you're trying to succeed or grow or do something independent to what maybe you normally would roll in this relationship. And I feel like there's some idea that's exciting you that you want to pursue. And I feel you do want to have a conversation, because I feel you may be a little bit unhappy around either the work that you're doing, or maybe you don't, there's just something here about your own life and your own pursuit in life that you're feeling stuck in, and you want to have a conversation here. That's how it's coming up. But I just feel like this person, it's like they always have a plan, or they always have a strategy, always have an answer to something, and it always seems controlled. And the way that they talk to you, just it makes sense. It's very stable in the way that they express themselves. But I feel like someone here that has a plan, and I feel this is someone that you're dealing with. I think you have your own plan, but I feel like the person that you're dealing with has a plan, or does things or engages in things that you're not aware of. And I feel like you want more information, you want to understand it, but it's like you don't know about it, but you feel it. I hope that makes sense. It just seems like there's something being held back by the person you're dealing with, but at the same time, you're also trying to pursue things in your own life for whatever reason, and you're allowed to, right? But just something feels very uncomfortable here. Very uncomfortable here. It's just like you want answers. You want to understand something that doesn't feel right. But I feel like you may feel you always have to sacrifice your own goals or your own ambitions. Maybe you make that as part of a choice, but I think after a while, sometimes it can get resentful, But it's like you're being held back for some reason. Let's see where this is going. Healer of the Ages. Fifth chakra, victory. Yeah, okay. So again, it's just reiterating the energy. I was going to see if we needed to go to an extended, but I think the energy is just keeps confirming the same thing here. Something needs to change. Something needs to change in this dynamic. And I feel a talk here will help support this. And that's what this could be. It's the strategy to move forward in, because I feel like there's more information you want to understand, or motive or intention from someone, right? That's how this feels. Healer of the Ages is usually someone in the energy, or the energy itself wanting to work with you to make things well. This could be an advisor that you do talk to, but there is something here about a conversation. We've got the throat chakra showing up here, Archangel Gabriel, which is Archangel of communication. There's definitely something here that this conversation will get you to the place that you need to go with this victory energy. You could be holding back right now, and that's a big part here. You're holding it back. And maybe that's what's building this energy inside of you. And you're on pursuit of something. I can see that, but I know you're asking for change. So that conversation, Pisces, seems to be a really important one right now. As I said, just be mindful with this full moon energy. I think the energy is going to be a bit wild with communication over the next couple of weeks, but you can have it. Just, have some breaths before, maybe even meditate on the outcome that you're seeking. Obviously not manipulative, but meditate for that energy to roll, or the conversation, to go the way that you're wanting, right? I don't know if you've done that before, that type of meditation, but it can be really powerful. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you, friend. Hope you enjoyed this reading. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you want to release over this full moon. I'll speak to you later. Bye.